My name is Dr. John Watson. It feels like a lifetime ago, but not long ago, I served as an army surgeon in Afghanistan. A Jezzail bullet found my shoulder, and that was that. I was shipped back to London, a man broken by war, adrift in the great cesspool of this city. London felt utterly alien, a dreary, expensive place for someone with a wounded shoulder and a pension that seemed to shrink with every passing day. My days were aimless, my future bleak. Just as my loneliness and lack of funds were about to completely consume me, a stroke of luck, I ran into an old friend, young Stamford, who had been a dresser under my charge back at St. Bartholomew's Hospital. We grabbed a modest lunch, and I found myself confessing my desperate situation. I needed cheaper lodgings, a refuge from the costly hotel that was rapidly draining my last few pounds. Stamford's eyes lit up with a curious glint. He told me he knew of a fellow, a bit of an eccentric, who worked in the chemical laboratory at the very same hospital. This man had apparently found a splendid suite of rooms in a place called Baker Street, but was looking for someone to split the rent. The man's name, Sherlock Holmes. Stamford gave me a warning, though. He said, "He's a queer fellow, Watson, a little too scientific for my tastes. He can be cold, intense, and all his passions are purely intellectual." Frankly, this only made me more curious. I asked Stamford to take me to him at once. We found Holmes in the laboratory. He was a tall, thin young man, his eyes gleaming with a manic energy as he peered into a test tube. He was on the very brink of a discovery, he told us, a new reagent that was precipitated by hemoglobin and by nothing else. An infallible test for blood stains, he cried out, his voice practically vibrating with success. It was quite a first impression. Then he turned to me. "Dr. Watson, I presume," he said, even though Stamford hadn't uttered my name. He fixed his piercing eyes on me and said with utter certainty, "You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive." I was stunned into silence. How on earth could he possibly know that? He then calmly listed his own shortcomings as a potential roommate with a detached air. He keeps odd hours. He plays the violin at all times of the day and night. He conducts strange and often foul-smelling chemical experiments right there in the rooms, and he's prone to long periods of what he called black depression. Despite all these warnings, or maybe because of them, I was completely fascinated. We agreed to meet the very next day to inspect the rooms at 221B Baker Street. As I walked away from the laboratory that afternoon, I had a strange feeling, a certainty that my life was about to change forever. I just had no idea how much. Thanks for listening to my story. If you're as intrigued as I was, make sure to follow along for what happens next. You won't want to miss it.